In tonight's main event, Los Americanos, led by El Grande Americano and Chad Gable's American Made, will battle in the fight of a lifetime. A six-man brawl with falls counting anywhere in the temple and no rules. Plus, Dario Cueto continues to play a dangerous game. Aerostar reveals more of this timeline's secrets. The tag team champions Ethan Page and Chelsea Green are in action, and we hear from our new trios champions, Santos Escobar, Tony D'Angelo and Angel Garza. This is episode 11 of Lucha Underground, and the revival, the temple demands sacrifice. We open the show by learning that Penta vs Samoa Joe 2 will be taking place in next week's main event, with Joe's Lucha Underground title on the line. But then we quickly transitioned into the first segment of the show as El Jefe was in his office talking to Penta himself. El Jefe apologised to Penta, asking for him to break Mil Muertes' arm last week, and said he shouldn't get the fan favourite involved in his feud with Dario Cueto and his crew, especially as Penta has a huge title match coming up. Plus, he'd chosen his own brother, Rey Fénix, to battle Big Samoa Joe, which ended in defeat and disaster as Fénix passed out in the Coquina Clutch. Just then, Natty entered the office, and Penta got a little defensive. She told the masked fighter to relax, as she'd been called in by her Jefe to discuss a favour. The fans love Ethan and Chelsea, but the laughing hyena pairing of Wild and Del Toro are fun to watch too. Despite being heels and being extremely annoying with their loud laughter in the ring, the pair of luchadors can have a good match with anyone. And this was a great showing for them against the tag team champions. However, it went the same way that all of Ethan and Chelsea's matches together in Lucha Underground have gone so far, with an impressive win to the champs following an unpretty hair from Chelsea to Joaquin Wilde. Backstage, tag team partners and friends Dragon Lee and Rey Fénix were talking about a tough night for the pair last week, where Lee lost to Carlito in a Gift of the Gods medallion match, and Fénix passed out in the Coquina Clutch to Samoa Joe. But Fénix didn't seem himself at all, and at one point just stared off into space. Lee asked if he was listening, and Fénix just wandered off. This left Dragon Lee perplexed, to say the least, and he got even more confused when Aerostar appeared. The legendary time-travelling luchador told Dragon Lee not to trust Fénix. He said the temple is consuming him again, and the darkness that is deep within him is returning. Lee looked extremely upset by this. Next up, a scene that would anger a lot of Lucha Underground talent and fans. But Tony D'Angelo, Santos Escobar and Angel Garza didn't care one bit. Last week they captured the Lucha Underground Trios titles after Tony and Santos' original partner Dragunov was found beaten down backstage, and Santos drafted in his friend, the dangerous Angel Garza, who seemed to fit in better in this picture anyway. Dragunov won't be the only one in the group should be wary of, after Santos and Angel have attacked and then mocked the legendary Rey Mysterio in recent weeks. But Dragunov is likely to be out for revenge when he returns to the temple. Will he point his gaze towards the men he was supposed to team up with? Session band, the Ring Rats, came to us next, and they bring a badass punk feel complete with trumpets and violins. The crowd absolutely loved them. And we got a great tag team match with Apollo and Ali getting their licks in on the duo who attacked them a number of weeks ago. But with Vikingo and Dr. Wagner wanting revenge for Apollo and Ali's role in eliminating them in Aztec Warfare, it was a close fought and compelling back and forth battle, which both teams could and perhaps should have won. In the end though, Prince Apollo of Lagos hit his epic spinebuster on Dr. Wagner, and Panther Ali rose to the top rope to unleash his 054 inverted 450 splash. Ethan Page and Chelsea Green, victorious earlier tonight, were wandering the halls backstage, clinging tightly to their Lucha Underground tag team title belts, and of course the Page protection spray, that is anti-spirit, anti-gross and anti-bad energy. And they were scared, because last week Page sprayed it on Psycho Clown and Pagano. Chelsea told him afterwards that it was more of a saging type of spray, not the type of spray you spray in people's faces. They came across the clowns and tried to apologise to them. Chelsea said they were super sorry, and to make it up to them they'd like to offer them a tag team title shot next week. But Psycho Clown said he has a match tonight for a chance to win an Aztec medallion, and Pagano has a chance next week. Their eyesights haven't fully returned, and if they lose their matches they'll be coming for the champions' heads, not their belts. Ethan and Chelsea gulped. winner of the first Aztec medallion, Carlito, graced the temple with his presence next, proclaiming that this was Lucha Underground, and he was here to see who qualifies for the Gift of the Gods next. He pulled up a chair and sat ringside alongside the announce team. The next Aztec medallion was up for grabs. Carlito has one, and the winner of this would also receive one, and enter for a chance to win the Gift of the Gods Championship. Psycho Clown was hampered by an eye injury caused by Ethan Page and Chelsea Green, but he stayed in it for a while. In the end, his eye was a problem, but the main reason Lola Vice won was due to the arrival of a masked attacker. Big, powerful-looking fighter provoked and poked Psycho Clown in the eye behind the referee's back before rolling out under the bottom rope and celebrating with nearby fans, before disappearing again. Lola Vice didn't see any of it go down. Ironically, she had received an accidental thumb to the eye from Psycho Clown, and she was receiving attention from the referee at the time. After the match, a very surprising group arrived. Dario Cueto stepped into the ring behind Lola, and Matanza climbed onto the apron. Mil Muertes was a little more hesitant, while Carlito shouted that this was great, as one of his Gift of the Gods rivals was about to be sacrificed. Lola had the wherewithal to slide out of the ring quickly though and get out of there. The group then turned their attention to Carlito, who also ran as fast as he could through the crowd. El Jefe had a special guest in his office next, French flyer Elio Lafleur, who El Jefe said would take on Pagano next week for the chance to win an Aztec medallion and join the Gift of the Gods match, provided Pagano is cleared after his ongoing eye issue. We got a chaotic main event next with huge stakes. The match went all over the temple and ringside area. All 6 men came away from this one with cuts, welts, bruises, and will have shaved years off their careers. The fans were into everything they did, even the backstage stuff that the crowd could only see on the large screen. They brawled everywhere, including the locker room, and including El Jefe's office, which was empty when they got there. They also bumped into Ivy Nile, a friend of Chad Gable and the Creed brothers, who delivered some stiff strikes to El Grande Americano before being pulled away by some referees and security team members. Then came the finish. Everyone was in the ring, continuing to brawl. A table was set up on either side, and somehow Brutus and Julius put Rayo and Bravo through a table each. El Grande then loaded up his mask with a steel plate and delivered a headbutt to each Creed brother. However, Chad Gable had caught him from behind and hit the Chaos Theory German suplex to score a huge win. The show seemed like it was over, but it wasn't. Matanza, Dario Cueto and Mil Muertes were leaving the arena when Mil put a strong hand on Dario's chest, and he looked as though he feared for his life as his brother continued walking. Dario knew what Mil wanted and said that preparations were underway, and soon, very soon, Katrina will return to him, just like he promised. The group continued to walk out of the arena, but El Jefe the Undertaker appeared and confronted Mil. He said that the two should talk, and Mil nodded and breathed heavily through his widened nostrils. So let me know in the comments, do you think it's possible for Dario Cueto to revive Katrina, or is Aerostar right and Dario is lying to Mil Muertes? Let me know in the comments. And join me next time where Penta and Samoa Joe continue their feud, as Penta, the winner of Aztec Warfare 5, gets his shot at the Lucha Underground Championship against the Samoan Destroyer. Thanks for watching. Now make sure to like, comment and subscribe for free so you don't miss an episode. It would be great to hear from you.